Like at the beginning, you start off like busy, and it's like, oh, it's all roses, and like, yeah, we're gonna fucking crush it, and all of a sudden it's like crickets in the room, right? It's like, you know, when the curtains open, it's like there's nobody there,
right?
It's like, fuck.
Yep.
Okay. And then everyone's like, no, but we should do this, and we should do this, and we should do this. And then, you know, luckily I have two great partners that were like, we should just stay the course of what we believe in you to do, and like we should just do that. And I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna do anything else.
Right. Same.
And they were like, cool.
Right.
We just do that. And we stayed that course, and it's like, you know, there was a lot of lonely nights, but at the same time, you know, we're still sitting here today talking about it because it worked.
Right.
But it's that unpretentious, like, approach to food that's a little lost, right? Because everyone wants to, it's a lot of, like, fodder, a lot of, like, smoke and mirrors and shit.
It's like, make that shit taste good.
Just, and we talked about it when we were in D.C. It's like, you know, proper meat cookery, it's like completely lost. Like everyone wants, and I love vegetables, right? But no one really wants to cook meat anymore.
Right.
And I want to keep cooking meat.
Yeah, absolutely. Somehow a sustainable ecosystem is supposed to exist without half the ecosystem that created it.
Right.
That's the shit that I don't understand, you know? Like the whole thing only works in unison, right? Like
it's also super similar too, because I mean, when we opened 6 years ago, we couldn't dream of like the Michelin Guide coming to Miami.
Right.
And I remember when we spoke 3 years ago, I said, I didn't know if they were coming or not, but these are the standards that we have.
Right.
These are the standards that we're going to carry from a service perspective, beverage, food. Whether they come or not, it doesn't matter. This is who we're going to be. So when I was on a plane and we were like flying to Napa to do that event at the CIA, and like the news came out, I was like, we're ready.
Right.
We're good.
Don't have to shake the boat.
We're just gonna we're on course.
Right.
Like this is who we were, this is what we wanted to do, and you know, hopefully everything works in our favor, but at the same time it's like I feel confident that was gonna be the case.
Right.
Like that we, even if we get one or we don't get one, whatever it may be, like these are the standards that we wanted to have.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to have standards, you know, and a lot of Miami was a lot of like smoke and mirrors.
Right.
A lot of smoke and mirrors. So I love the story you told me before of when you got your first star.
Right.
Right. And how news came down one day and you didn't get a call. You remember the story?
Yeah. I was telling these boys because they just started working with me like less than 6 months ago.
Right.
So today, this is like the first time we've like traveled and done an event together. And they were like, how did it go? You know? And it's like, that's the shit. It's as real as it gets, you know?
Right.
Like live it, you know? So, yeah.
In that story, what I remember the most is like why I feel like we became friends is like you wanted it so bad. And it was like it almost broke you, and then when you finally got it, this like well of emotion that you had.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of people who really care about the craft, forget about all the other stuff, the craft of like food in general, and like the whole experience of what it is. I think that's why we do this shit to begin with, right?
Yeah.
You know, we do it for the guest, we do it for like keeping old school tradition alive, and I feel like that's why this stuff is important.
Yeah.
Because like proper cooking, I mean, it's like we're losing it every single day.
Yeah, 100%. Like, there's enough people, you know, it's just like, we harp that shit, right? Like, there's enough people. Like, do we sous vide? Absolutely.
Same.
Right?
Same.
Like, we run a business, right? Like, Saturday night, 140 covers. Like, yeah, like, some things need to, like, go and, you know, and be circulated. But, like, do our cooks know how to roast properly? 200%.
Right.
You know, because, like, shit doesn't exist. Like, I feel like kids... You know, the generation behind, I'm only 31, but like generation behind us, right? Like early 20s, they can do a bunch of cool shit,
right?
But they can't make a proper cuisson. They can't braise. Right. They can't break. They can't butcher down to from subprimals to prime. It's crazy. Primals to subprimals. Like, dude, it's wild to me. Mm-hmm. It's like really like you don't know. Like you can fucking make a bubble that smells like. I don't know.
Bubblegum,
eel ass.
Bubblegum and
right?
eel.
But like, but you can't break down a rib loin, you know? And it's like, that shit's crazy to me, you know? And that's what like we focus on. I mean, in both restaurants, you know, like we cook over the most primal way of cooking upstairs in Jônt is like we cook over a fire. everyone's like, how do you sous vide your proteins and then cook it over the fire? We're like, we never sous vide them in the first place.
Yeah.
We cook that shit over the fire the whole time, you know, like interval cooking, all of that stuff. And like, that's what I preach to the team. It's like, you come here to learn how to cook. Like the innate, like the primal instinct of just like touching something and understanding where it's at.